Let's come to a seated position on the mat and just kind of get centered in, lifting up through the chest, relaxing the shoulders down, closing the eyes if you're comfortable with that. Just take a deep breath in through your nose, big exhale through your mouth. Settle into your skin for a moment, noticing how everything feels. And as you're checking in with yourself, you might consider starting your deep, slow Ujjayi breathing. And then notice any thought patterns, any emotions, notice your energy, notice how connected you feel to yourself, to each other, and to the world around you. And then let's bring our palms together in front of our hearts and set our intention for our practice today. When you're clear about your intention, take a deep breath in. Big exhale through your mouth. Today, we are going to start standing at the front of our mats in Tadasana, mountain pose. So you just want your feet really nicely rooted. Your spine should be straight and aligned. You want to feel as though if a line came down from the ceiling, it would go through your ears, your shoulders, your hips, and your heels. And then feel all of your muscles just engaging and hugging in towards your bones. So you're just starting to get a little bit energized. Then take a big inhale, reach the arms up, spread the fingers, lift the chest, look up if that feels okay. We're gonna hold this for 3 breaths. And then on your next exhale, you're gonna bend your knees, fold forward, and hang in ragdoll. Make sure your neck is relaxed. So truly your head should just be dangling at the end of your spine. Every exhale, you're feeling your spine lengthen. And then we're just going to go ahead and plant the fingertips beside the toe tips. Look up and lengthen halfway. And then fold all the way forward for your standing forward bend, which might mean that you still have a bent knee. We're just trying to get the torso to the thighs. And then go ahead and step back with your left foot. Come into your lunge. Just hold this for a couple of breaths. Drop down to your left knee. We're going to take the right hand and actually put it on the inside of the right knee. Roll to the outside edge of your right foot first, and then apply some gentle pressure to the inside of the right knee. So you're trying to get some sensation in your right outer hip, maybe a little bit on the inside. Then go ahead and bring your right hand down outside your right knee and fully extend the right leg, flexing the ankle and toes, getting into your right hamstring. We're going to be paying a little extra attention to our hammies today, the back of the thigh. Take a couple more breaths here. Really try and get the legs straight. Really try and flex ankle and toes. Pull your tailbone back, pull your chest forward. And then go ahead and bend your right knee. Bring the arms up and overhead. We're going to tilt the pelvis back, lift the chest, and let the hips move forward. So we're just finding some sensation on the front of the left hip. Hands are going to come down to the mat. Step it back to plank position. Hold your plank for a moment. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower down. You can come into any upward facing position that you like. So it can be upward facing dog, it can be cobra, it can be sphinx. We're going to hold this for a couple of extra breaths. Shoulders down the back, heart lifted, chest pulling forward. And then downward facing dog. And of course, you can move a little bit in your first down dog. But since we are emphasizing hamstrings, once you've had a little movement, press those hips up and back, and I want you to really focus on pressing the heels down while the hips move back. Go ahead and take a big step forward with your left foot. Just hold your lunge for a couple of breaths here. Drop the right knee down. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left knee. Roll into the outside edge of your foot. Then begin to apply a little bit of pressure to that left knee. So you want to feel this in the left outer hip. And then let's go ahead and extend the left leg. Try and get that knee straight if you can. Flex your ankle and toes. Pull your chest forward. So we're trying to get into that left hamstring a little bit now. And then bend your left knee. Bring the arms up and overhead. Pelvis tilts and the hips move forward. So now you're trying to find some sensation on the front of your right hip. Hands come down. We step forward to our standing forward bend. And pause here. So again, forward bends technically are the torso meeting the thighs. If your legs are super straight and you're in this like really rounded position, it's not really a forward bend. Bend the knees, get your torso to your thighs, and then if you want to start straightening the legs, you can, but you should keep your torso on your thighs. So try that, play with that. Imagine your tailbone is poking up towards the ceiling rather than pointing behind you. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and come all the way up. Reach the arms up and overhead. And exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Look up halfway. And then back down. We're going to step back with the right leg, big step back. Hold your lunge for a moment. Then I want you to go ahead and gaze forward and begin to straighten your left leg. It's okay if it doesn't go straight. We're just getting started, right? Got plenty of time to get these hamstrings to loosen up and release. So just trying to lengthen forward. You're just looking for sensation in your left hamstring. Take one more breath here. Go ahead and bend your left knee again. Bring the arms up and overhead. Let your hips sink a little bit. And then bring both hands down inside your left foot. Please feel free to drop the right knee if you need to. But come onto the right forearm and maybe both, and really try and keep that left leg hugging in towards your body. So you want to feel this in your left hamstring. Take one more breath. And then you can step it back to plank position. Take the vinyasa of your choice. From this downward facing dog, you'll take a big step forward with your right foot. And then gaze forward for a flat back and begin to extend your right leg. So you're just trying to get into that hamstring a little bit. And then bend the right knee and bring the arms up and overhead. Let your hips sink. Bring both hands down inside the right knee. Come on to left forearm if you can, perhaps the right one. And let that right knee hug in towards your body. So you want to feel this in your right hamstring. Come back up onto your hands. Step forward to your standing forward bend. Remember, torso to thighs. And then inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees if you need to. Torso to thighs. Look up halfway and lengthen. And then back down. We're going to step back with the left foot. Adjust your feet if you need to. Spin the left heel flat. We are coming up into warrior one. So when I say adjust the feet, you might need to go a little wider. As much as possible, you want your hips to square off at the front of the mat. That can be challenging for those of us with tight Western hips. So your left leg is straight, your left heel is flat, right knee is bent. You're breathing. We're going to interlace our fingers behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together and fold forward, taking the right shoulder to the top of the right thigh, relaxing the neck, and then reaching the arms up for humble warrior. Keep your fingers interlaced, but come back up. Begin to straighten your right leg as much as you can. Keep your hips rotated forward. Begin to extend your spine out over your right leg. So we're just really loading the right hamstring, but it should be an active stretch, meaning your right leg is very engaged here. It's not a slack, relaxed stretch. It's a very active stretch. Take a couple more breaths here. Now, stay where you're at, but release your hands. Bring your left hand to your right shin, your right foot, or to the floor outside the right foot. Bring your right hand to your waist. Begin to lengthen the spine and rotate to the right. Once you feel like the shoulders are vertically stacked, if you do, take your right hand towards the ceiling. So revolve triangle. Take 2 more breaths. Right hand comes down. We're going to step it back to plank and flow through our vinyasa. As you get to your downward facing dog, really focus on the hips reaching back and the heels reaching down. You might already notice that your right hamstring feels a little looser than the left. Step your left foot forward. Adjust your feet as necessary. We're going to spin the right heel flat and come on up for warrior one. Remember, as much as possible, you want your hips rotated forward. In this case, your right leg is straight, your left knee is bent. And then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Fold forward, taking left shoulder to left thigh. Relaxing the neck. Reaching the arms up and overhead for humble warrior. We're going to keep the fingers interlaced. Come all the way back up. Straighten the left leg and begin to extend the spine over a straight left leg. So it's a very active stretch. Again, remember, your left leg should feel very engaged. And you are keeping your spine long. You're not just hanging and draping over your left leg. Your shoulders are squeezed together. Your heart is pulling forward. You're going to maintain this position, but release your hands. So your right hand comes to your left shin, foot, or outside of it. You're going to start with your left hand at your waist and start to revolve to your left till you feel like your left shoulder is vertically stacked over the right, and then you can take it towards the ceiling. So revolved triangle, big hamstring stretch. Bring that left hand down, step back to plank position. Take your vinyasa. So really stretching, 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 pushing tailbone up and back, heels pressed down. And then from here, I'd like you to step your right foot forward. Go ahead and drop your left knee down and pick your right leg up and slide it farther forward. Much farther forward than you did the first time we went through our warm-up series. Get it way out there. Flex your right ankle and toes, lift your chest. And if you need to put your hands on blocks, that's cool. I want you to pull the tailbone back, actively lift the chest and pull forward. Take a couple of breaths here. And then see if you can slide that right leg a little farther forward. Inhale, flex back. Now as you exhale, this time I want you to push through the ball of the foot. Inhale, flex back. Exhale, push through the ball of the foot. See if you can maybe extend the leg a little farther. Inhale, flex it back. Exhale, and press through the ball of the foot. And just take a couple of breaths here. Now, if you're feeling like you can come on up and take hands off the ground if you feel like you're ready for a split or a split prep. And if your right leg and your hamstring is saying, oh, heavens no, then please listen to your body and don't do it. We're here for 2 more breaths. You're going to take your right leg straight back and go into downward facing dog. Stretch. Notice again, now that we've done more work, is your right hamstring looser again. So let's make a match. Take a big step forward with your left foot. Drop to your right knee. Pick your left foot up and move it forward. Flex the ankle, pull the tailbone back, pull the chest forward. Just take a couple breaths. So we're easing into it. Never any need to rush. Pick the foot up, slide it forward again, if you can. This time we're inhaling to flex back, exhaling to press forward through the ball of the foot. Inhale to flex back, exhale to press forward. And then see if maybe you can get the leg to go a little farther forward. And you hang out here, and again, it's purely optional. Hands can come off the floor if you feel like you're close to doing a split or a split prep, or not. Or you can have hands on blocks, or you can ignore all of this, but you're gonna pay attention to your left hamstring for 2 more breaths here. And then we're just gonna take that left leg straight back to downward facing dog. Press your hips up and back. And then shift into plank and take your vinyasa. So from this downward facing dog, you may either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend, and I'd like you to hold your forward bend. So you're gonna bend your knees slightly, put your torso on your thighs, reach behind the knees and actually clasp your elbows to hug your torso to your thighs. Then you're gonna lengthen your spine by pulling the chest forward, like looking up, and keep looking up as you start to straighten your legs. Now you should really feel it in your hamstrings. Take 2 breaths here. On your next inhale, come all the way up, arms reach up and overhead. And exhale, palms together. All right. Our balance pose today is standing head to knee pose. And so the idea is this, and I apologize, my mat is just sliding all over this rug. Okay, so we're gonna be standing on our right foot. And sorry, my cat's been playing with my phone too. All right. That's exciting, isn't it? We're going to be standing on our right foot. I'd like you to grab your left thigh, calf, or foot with both hands. So as much as possible, left leg is straight. You can either grab your pants, your thigh, your calf, or your foot with both hands. Your leg should be straight, your foot should be flexed, and you're trying to get your torso pretty upright here, and breathe. And release. So I'll turn sideways just so you can kind of see. You're trying to almost get like a 90-degree angle. We're going to stand on the left foot now. Reach down, grab your right thigh, your calf, or your foot with both hands. As much as possible, you want to extend the leg, flex the foot, and lift your chest, and breathe. And then release down. Go ahead. Feet together, hands together. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Look up halfway and lengthen. And then back down. You can either walk or jump back to plank position and flow through your vinyasa. And then from this downward facing dog, you're really, really pressing the hips up and back. And from here, we're going to be moving into a standing split. So here's the deal on this. It's all about the hamstrings today. Go ahead and walk your feet forward. I'd like you to have your hands maybe 6 inches in front of your feet. That's it. Not far out like a down dog. In fact, let's all do the same measurement. Spread your fingers and thumbs. Let your thumbs touch your longest toes. And let your hands extend out. Wherever your middle finger touches, that's where your hands are going to go. No farther forward than that. So it should be 5 or 6 inches maybe. We're gonna stand on the right leg first, and here's what I'd like you to do. Have your right leg as straight as possible. Your left leg is gonna begin to extend up into the air behind you. The idea is this: the more you lift your left leg and begin to pull your torso towards your right shin, the more you should feel this in your right hamstring. Pay attention to that. That's your focus. If you feel like you have the balance too, you can actually grab your right heel with your right hand and give a little assist as far as bringing your torso towards your thigh. That left leg continues to reach up as much as possible in your breathing. Left foot comes down beside right foot. Your hands should still be that, 5 or 6 inches in front of your feet. So now we go for the other side. Left leg is straight as much as you can. Right leg begins to extend up into the air. You're trying to get your torso towards your left thigh and trying to get your right leg up, up, up. Again, if you feel balanced enough, left hand can grab left heel and pull you a little closer to the left thigh, but keep reaching your right leg up. You want to feel this in your left hamstring. Bring your right foot back down. Two-legged forward bend. Really get your torso to your thighs. Grab your heels if you can and pull. Try and get your legs as straight as they'll go. You've had lots of forward bending now. See if you can get a little more out of this one. And then on your next inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then back down. You can either walk or jump back to plank position. Take your vinyasa. And then from here, either walk or jump forward. Standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, palms together and turn sideways on your mat. Take a nice wide side step. Toes point directly forward. Try and keep your legs as straight as you comfortably can. Hinge at your hips. You can just grab your elbows and hang for a moment. And then hands on the mat, walk your hands towards your right foot. Maybe you can even clasp it. Try and keep your right leg straight and just stretch out over that right thigh. So you should feel hamstrings again, but you'll also feel a little bit of inner thigh. Take a couple breaths. Walk your hands over towards your left foot. If you can, your left leg is straight. If you can, you're pulling your torso to align over that left leg. You should feel it in your left hamstring, maybe a little in the inner thigh. Good. Bring your hands back to the center. Toe heel the feet in until they're about hip distance, maybe. So a foot or so apart. And then I want you to literally slide your hands under your feet. So if your fingertips touch your toe tips with your palms facing up, you can lift the ball of each foot and slide your hand straight underneath your feet. So the tips of your toes are touching the insides of your wrists. The ball of the foot is standing in the palm of the hand and the fingertips are touching the heels. If you can, you straighten your knees. And if you can get your knees straight, then you bend your elbows. Release the hands, take a big inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're gonna do the same balance that we've already done. We're gonna do it one more time. This time we're only gonna grab with one hand because we're gonna take the leg out a little bit. So I'm gonna have you stand on your right leg first. Right hand is either at the waist, or if you need it for balance, it can be out to the side. It can even be touching something if you need to. Your left hand is either gonna grab behind your left thigh, your left calf, or if you can, use the first two fingers and thumb of your left hand to get that left big toe. Torso is vertical, left leg extends in front of you. If you can, your right arm reaches out to the right, and your left leg extends to the left. Bring it back to the center and release. And now we do the same thing on the other side. So you're gonna stand on your left foot. Left hand is at the waist or out to the side. You're gonna either grab the back of the right thigh, the calf, or your right big toe with your right hand. Fully extend the leg if you can. Left arm out to the left, right leg out to the right. Bring your leg back in, release. Bring your feet together, bring your palms together. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. So it's a standing forward bend. It's your last standing forward bend. Stay here for a couple of breaths, really trying to get your torso to your thighs. If you liked grabbing the heels, do that. If you want to stay traditional, fingertips are beside toe tips. Then inhale, look up and lengthen, and back down. Step back to plank. Flow through your last vinyasa for this morning's practice. And as you get to your downward facing dog, push your hips as far back as you can and sink your heels as far down as you can. Do everything possible to get that final little sensation in your hamstrings here. So imagine your tailbone is tilting up towards the ceiling. And then you can just walk or jump forward. Have a seat. We'll take a moment in Dandasana. So legs are extended. You're on your sit bones. Your hands are right behind your backside. Your chest is lifted. Your head is balanced on top of your spine. Your legs are active. And you're just checking in with your body, your breath, your mind, your heart, your energy, your connection, and your intention. Inhale the arms up. Now as you exhale for your seated forward bend, Paschimottanasana, think about your standing one. Maybe a slight bend in the knees. Try and get your torso to your thighs and then nestle in. So maybe the legs go straight, maybe they don't. Torso to thighs. And then your neck can relax. Come up from that. We're going to keep the right leg straight. Bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Lean out over just your right leg. Now, wherever your hands are, pardon me, is the perfect place for them. We're going to transition this into Kaunchasana, Heron. So you can grab your thigh, your calf, or your foot. But I'd like you to have your right leg straight and bring it up into the air. Lift your chest, and however much you need to, pull the leg towards you to get a hamstring stretch. Try and keep the chest lifted. Take a couple of breaths. We're going to bring this right foot down outside the left knee or thigh with the right foot completely flat so that we can come into a good deep twist to the right. Your right hand is behind you. Your left elbow is outside that right knee or thigh if you can. Otherwise, you're just hugging the leg and you're twisting to look over your right shoulder. As you unwind, bring the sole of your right foot to meet the sole of your left foot. Hands are right behind you, straight spine. Press the knees out to the side and reach them down for the floor. And then you can just keep your right knee bent. Extend your left leg out. Right foot snugs in to the inside of the left thigh. And you're just going to lean out over your left leg. Wherever your hands are is the perfect place for them. We're going to raise the left leg up for Heron, Kanchasana. Straight left leg if you can. Chest is lifting. Maybe the leg is pulling towards you. And then we're going to put the left foot down, outside right knee or thigh, left foot flat, left hand behind you, right elbow outside left knee or thigh. For your twist, if that's not accessible to you, then you'll just hug that left knee or thigh. Come back around. Bring your left foot to meet your right foot, but slide your feet quite a bit farther forward. Clasp your ankles and just start to nestle your rib cage down between your thighs. Take some breaths here. And slowly come on up. From here, you get to roll onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, and side to side rock. From here, we're going to keep the right knee hugged into the chest, extend the left leg all the way out. So it should be resting on the ground. And then just be very particular. We're going to extend the right leg fully. So maybe that means it points at the ceiling. For some of us, it's going to point more towards the foot. So rather than bending the knee to bring it higher up, keep your leg really straight. Grab whatever you can reach and pull the leg towards you. Try not to bend the right knee. Take a couple of breaths. Put your left hand on your left hip bone and allow that right leg to open out. So try not to like plunk over and roll. Ideally, right leg stays in the air and it stays very straight. Take another breath here. And then bring the leg back up, bend the knee, hug it in. And we'll transition this into a gentle twist. So you're just going to keep your right knee bent, let your right arm open out to the right. Go ahead and twist over to your left. Let your head turn to the right. Don't worry about whether or not your shoulder blade pops up or your knee hits the floor. You want to be relatively passive here. Just take a few breaths. 2 more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, come back up, and as you exhale, hug your right knee in. Go ahead and bring that left knee up to meet it. Feel free to rock side to side. And then extend your right leg out. Hug the left knee into the chest. Right leg is just all the way out onto the ground. And then we're going to extend the left leg straight up. And remember, one leg may be very different from the other. So you want your leg straight, really straight. Maybe it's pointing towards the foot end of your mat. Maybe it's pointing towards the head end. Maybe it's straight up. Doesn't matter. The knee is straight. And you grab whatever you can reach and give it just a little gentle pressure for a hamstring stretch. And then we're going to put the right hand on the right hip to keep us from, plunking and rolling over like we're not supposed to. Just start taking your left leg out to the left. So you want to keep your right glute really planted. You want your left leg to remain straight. Go ahead and bring the left leg back up. Hug your knee in, and now we transition into that gentle twist. Your left arm opens out to the left. You're going to twist yourself to the right. Let your head turn to the left. And don't worry too much about anything here. It doesn't matter if your knee touches the floor. It doesn't matter if your left hand touches the floor. You're just relaxing and being mostly passive and receptive here. Couple more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, go ahead and come all the way back up. As you exhale, hug your left knee in. Bring your right knee up to meet it. Rock side to side. Our inversion today is going to be bridge pose. It's kind of a counter pose to everything that you've been doing, right? Everything's been about lengthening the hamstrings, lengthening the back side of the body. Well, bridge pose is quite the opposite. It's about lengthening the front side of the body, which means hamstrings and glutes contract quite sharply, and we actually want that because we want balance. So bring your big toes to touch, separate the heels, and begin to lift your hips. A little or a lot, it depends on your body. If you need to stay neutral, stay neutral. If you like, you can interlace your fingers underneath you and keep pressing through the heels to lift the hips. You should feel the backs of your thighs, your hamstrings contracting, tightening. Breathe. One more big breath in and out here. And then lower down slowly. Bring your knees into your chest, rock side to side. Grab the outside edges of your feet, happy baby, whatever movements you need to do them now. Backs of your thighs should feel pretty loose and pretty good. Maybe experiment with that and make sure. And then when you feel like you're ready, I'd like you to put your feet flat on the mat, ankles and knees together. We're going to let the knees drop a little bit to one side on an exhale, and as we inhale, we'll bring them back up. As we exhale, we're going to drop them in the opposite direction. And you're just going to continue this beautiful breath-centered movement, letting the hips roll as much as they want to. Inhaling the knees to the center and exhaling them to the opposite side. It can be a tiny, subtle movement, or it can be a full-on twist if that feels good to you. One more time on each side, or whatever will make you feel even. And then the next time the knees come to the center, you're going to let them drop open with the soles of the feet together. Take a breath here, just really relaxing, letting the inner thighs surrender to gravity. And then we'll lengthen the low back. So the next time you breathe in, press your low back into the mat. So you're doing a backwards pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. Next time you breathe out, release, let the curve come back into your spine. And then one more time, inhale, flatten your back, keep breathing. The next time you breathe out, release. Begin to extend your legs, separate your feet, however much feels like a good idea today. Make sure your glutes are soft, your back feels long, your shoulders are relaxing away from the ears, the neck feels long, your hands are below your heart, your jaw is relaxed so you have space between your teeth, your eyes are closed, your forehead is smooth. Take an extra deep inhale. Big exhale through your mouth as you release all tension. Feel how your body just kind of melts down towards the floor. And feel how the more relaxed your body gets, the gentler and softer your breath becomes. And then I want you to actually shift your perception of your breath. So today we're not going to be active participants in our breath. We're going to be passive recipients of the breath. We think we're involved in everything. We think we're in control of everything. We're not really. And a beautiful way to remind ourselves of that is to not focus on our breathing in such a way that we're taking inhales and exhales, but rather that we're receiving inhales and exhales. Can you shift your perception to the point that it feels as though the atmosphere or the world is pushing air into your lungs and pulling it back out? That each breath is being given to you rather than you taking it. So you're not really breathing in and breathing out. The world is breathing into you and out of you. See if you can just kind of wrap your head around that. Anytime you feel as though you're trying to take back control and take a breath in, soften And allow yourself to simply open and receive the breath that's being given to you. Your breath is, in fact, an involuntary action. However, it's one that you can voluntarily control. Right now, we're trying to focus on the involuntary action. Through no effort of your own, your body is breathing. And maybe, just maybe, it's the world that's breathing, and your body is the recipient of that. So what if we take it one step further? What if the world is breathing into you because it wants you to be alive? Because your gifts, your unique presence is required here in this world. So air is pushed into your lungs and drawn back out on a regular basis because you're necessary to the world. You're needed right now. Notice how that feels, not only as a passive recipient of the breath, but as someone who knows that the world needs them and wants them here. Begin to allow your focus to shift and move now throughout your body. And notice how your body feels. It should feel relaxed. It might even feel energized and relaxed. Perhaps most importantly, it should feel loved. Loved by you and loved by the atmosphere that's giving the breaths to keep you alive. Start to move your fingers and toes a little bit. Start to deepen your breath. When you feel like you're ready, take a deeper breath, spread the fingers and toes. Exhale with a sigh through the mouth as you relax your fingers and toes. Take an even deeper breath in and stretch, stretch, stretch. And then again, exhale and relax. Hug the knees in or just bend the knees and let them rest so that your back is flat. And then when you're ready, roll to your right side if you can. Pause for a breath. And then press yourself up into sitting. So as you come to your seated position, just kind of take a moment and notice how you feel overall. Body, breath, mind, heart, energy, intention, connection. That breath should have made you feel a lot more connected because it's connecting you to everything. We're all connected through the breath. We're all breathing from the same atmosphere, or we're all being breathed into from this same atmosphere. So tomorrow evening is a full moon and it is a partial lunar eclipse. So it's an extra powerful full moon. So to counteract that energy, we're doing solar breathing today. So Surya Vedana. And this is all going to be right nostril breathing. So inhaling and exhaling through the right nostril. You may do this as just a nice, slow, deep Ujjayi breath. Or for those of you who are more moon sensitive, who really want to kind of counteract all the crazy lunar energy that's about to be coming, you can do it as Kapalabhati through the right nostril. So Monday we did Kapalabhati breathing. That's that forceful, rather rapid breath. If you feel like you can do that right nostril only, that would be like supremely helpful. But if that's beyond your capabilities, just a nice slow deep Ujjayi breath in and out through the right nostril. Please use your right hand, any finger or fingers that you want to block your left nostril. So your right hand will reach across your body, block your left nostril. Your left hand can do whatever feels appropriate for it. You can rest palms up or palms down on the knee or thigh. You're welcome to do a mudra or not. But we're going to breathe in and out through the right side, either Ujjayi breathing or Kapalabhati breathing. All right, so let's just take a deep breath in through both nostrils and exhale through both. And then off you go. Finish out the breath you're on. Allow your right hand to just rest down, and I'd like you to just pause for a moment, really checking in, noticing how you feel right now. And then slowly, slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let's take a moment in gratitude today for our breath. Whether you believe you're taking breaths or receiving breaths, the truth is all of our breaths are finite. There will be a last breath that we're given or that we take, right? And we never really know when that's going to be. So it's particularly helpful to appreciate every single breath we have. We're fortunate enough to have breathed many, many breaths during our lifetime. We don't know how many we have left. So each breath is cause for celebration. Appreciate your breath, watch your breath, have gratitude for your breath. And then because you're breathing, it allows you to do everything else in your life that you do. So have gratitude for that, simply for your life. Take one more huge inhale through your nose. Big, happy sigh through the mouth. We bring our palms to our foreheads just to remind us to be present. Palms to the lips to remind us to speak our truth. We bring our palms together in front of our hearts, Anjali Mudra, to remind us to be grateful, to keep our hearts open, to be kind, compassionate, and loving. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Namaste.